Okay, so I am making bone broth. I just kept saving the bones, mostly from chicken, some from beef that I bought a long time ago, just in some baggies in the refrigerator. I'm going to add some vegetables and onions, some onion peels, some carrot peels, some oil, and some vinegar. Alright, so this is what it looks like after I put the green onions and broccoli and carrots and regular onions and some other bones in here. It's a piece of ham bone right here. So yeah, I'm gonna let it get good and hot. That's right now it is. And now I'm gonna turn it down. And then I'm going to cover it and let it cook all day and half a day tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is the second day. It's been in there for about almost 48 hours. All the bones are getting hollow and soft, easier to snap and break. The carrots are soft. It smells really good. It smells like chicken noodle soup, honestly. Yeah, so I think these bones are about ready to come out. I'm about ready to strain this broth, can it, and make my bone meal. Okay, so I had to cut the volume because my lovely daughter was singing at the top of her lungs, and I'm sure I probably would get a copyright strike because of the music. And who wants to hear that music anyway? Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm straining the broth from the whole bits. This is basically what you're seeing there is pieces of broccoli and seasoning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it and then put them into mason jars so I can pressure can them. It turned out that I need 4 jars, 2 quarts and 2 pints, and I had like a half of a quart left. And I just put that on my puppy's food. So I'm not going to stick that back in there with the juice because I don't want anything on the bottom when I'm straining it. I'm just going to stick it in the sink. Now I'm just going to pour the rest of this broth into that jar right there. And then I'm going to pressure can them with the carrots that you saw on the side of the bowl. Excuse my scarf, guys. It made some beautiful broth. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you what's left after we strain it. It has the bones and the veggies. So I'm going to separate that from each other. And then I'm going to try to use every part. So I pour it in this jar. I'm going to go ahead and separate it. It's very, very pretty. It smells so good. So I usually use bone broth as like a base to my soups. Or sometimes I use it in my puppy's food. Sometimes I just drink it if it's really, really good, like this one seems to be. And then I usually can it. Sometimes I will freeze it, depending on what I'm using it for and how quick I'll be able to use it. So I'm going to start to put these on the tray. And then I'm going to realize, hey, Leslie, you probably should wash them off. There's a lot of bits and pieces of veggies on there. So I'm going to decide to go ahead and wash it off in a second here. And then I will place them on the tray. So I won't have to smell as much stuff burning in the oven. Because you will smell the bones cooking in the oven. It will definitely smell burnt. So right now I'm just putting them in this little plastic container so I can rinse them off and then place them on the tray. And we don't have to watch this whole thing, me putting all the bones in the plastic container. That's totally unnecessary. So just going to speed it up just a bit. Okay, so now we are going to put the bones down. So what they look like after they're rinsed and ready to go in the oven. This is the separated vegetable and beef parts or meat parts. And here are my jars for canning. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the oven on the top shelf right now because the oven is up pretty high. Don't look directly into the oven. You might see that the bottom is dirty. I'm going to start it off for 15 minutes. I ended up cooking them for about 50 minutes. This is going to go into the compost. I would feed it to my puppy, but it has onions in it, and they're not supposed to have onions, so. Okay, so I'm going to let these set out, finish drying out. They sound hollow right now, which is great. And then I will blend them up and put them in a jar and use them as bone meal. This will go in the compost. I got a bag for compost and coffee cans right now, but you gotta do what you gotta do. My pressure cooker is pressure canning the bone broth. and some carrots. And I'll show you that when it gets done, and me grinding up the bones to make the bone meal. Okay, so I didn't record the bones after they were done, but to know they're done, they need to be able to be broken easily by hand. Like, you should be able to snap them into easily. I did it, I cooked them on whatever it was for 35 minutes, and I turned it way down and cooked it for another 15 minutes. I think I had it at 300 degrees. I put them on the bottom shelf, and I cooked it for another 15 minutes, and then I was able to snap the bones in half, in pieces, easily. The first time I took it out, I couldn't do it. So I put them back in there, turned the heat down, and put it back in there for 15 more minutes, because it'll smell like something's on fire. It smells like something's totally, horribly burning in your oven. But that is just the smell of the bones drying out. Okay, so when I first started chopping them up, I used my food processor. That is the bottom layer. Okay, and then it was taking a lot of effort. I was only able to do a small amount. And because I was only doing a small amount, I know that my coffee grinder has an excellent blade. It was actually my mom's. So I put it in the coffee grinder, and the top layer is the coffee ground layer, or the coffee grinder layer. Can you see the difference in color? Okay, but yeah, I think it was because the coffee grinder makes things finer and fluffier. But yeah, that is it. Now those bones made this amount. I'd say it's probably about a pound. I can weigh it. Let me see. Okay, so that is how I make my bone broth, and how I use my bones afterwards, and what I do with the bits and pieces of meats and vegetables. I try to use everything. To me, that's a very important thing to do. We have a lot of waste in America, and I think that some of those things we could be using. I think that gardening is a way to express how you feel, and to deal with anxiety and worry, those things that you don't have control over in life. Gardening gives you some kind of sense of control. It gives you beauty and a feeling of self-sufficiency. Okay, so being self-sufficient is very important to me. I know that we can't grow every single thing that we like to eat and every single thing that we would need. But there's a lot of things that we can grow that would offset our food costs and be more nutritious and healthy for us if we grew it at home. So that's basically why I'm making videos. I want to encourage everybody to grow, to learn, and to grow good. And what I mean by grow good is grow the goodness that's in your heart. Let it be seen on the outside. You can do that with acts of love. You can do that with your garden by sharing. You can do that by lending an ear to someone who needs to talk. Just grow the good that is inside you so that it can be seen on the outside. Okay, guys, that's the end of my video. I just want to thank you for spending time with me, and thank you for listening. God bless, grow good, and peace in your life and home. Amen.